Coming up on Mountain News this morning, investigators look into the cause of a helicopter crash that took the lives of 6 people in West Virginia. And climbing prices might be having an effect on your local fireworks display for the 4th of July holiday.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Keaton Hall. The time just ticked over to 6:32. Let's throw it over to Brandon Robinson for a look at our weather for the day.
Well, let's hope this camera stays on behind me. It likes to flicker here back and forth, but we're going to see a nice start to the day, and you'll see that if it keeps working on the UVA high knob camera there this morning. Beautiful sky out there, temperatures in the low 60s, and we got past it before it glitched on us. But again, 66 in Moorhead, 69 in Jackson, a lot of 50s out there this morning starting to show up. Monticello, Manchester, Middlesboro, and Jonesville all at 59 right now, 55 in Clintwood. A lot of low 60s out there as well. So again, some warm spots, some cool spots. Not anything cool this afternoon though. 90 a daytime high. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy through the overnight hours, but our rain chances come back into play as we head into the weekend. More on that here in just a little bit. Keaton?
Thank you, Brandon. Investigators are looking into a helicopter crash that killed 6 people in Logan County, West Virginia on Wednesday. National Transportation Safety Board investigator said the helicopter, better known to many as the Huey, was airborne for about 15 minutes prior to the 911 call that it had crashed. The investigator said when the NTSB will be looking for tangible evidence as the wreckage is recovered. They expect that to take place today.
What they're going to be focused on during these next 3 to 5 days is going to be documenting the perishable evidence. So they'll be going to the accident site where the helicopter crashed. They'll be documenting that entire site to see if they can determine the angle at which the helicopter came in, determining if there are any witnesses. And I should say that we are very interested in speaking with any witnesses or anyone that has access, information that might be relevant to the investigation.
TSB officials say they should have a report out in about 2 weeks, but a complete investigation could take 1 to 2 years. If you witness the crash or have information, you can contact the NTSB at witness@ntsb.gov. We've learned the name of a Kentucky power worker who died in a car crash Thursday morning while working in Perry County. Spokesperson said the crash happened in the Viper community. The family said the worker was 58-year-old Wallace Melton Jr. Kentucky power officials say they are heartbroken and extend their condolences to the family and to all who knew their employee. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. Federal officials say a motocross instructor who visits states from New York to Georgia, including Kentucky, has been charged with producing child pornography. 30-year-old Ryan Young is accused of engaging 6 minors in sexually explicit conduct to produce sexual abuse images and with transporting and possessing images of child sexual abuse. Justice Department officials say Young was arrested in Tennessee in December on state charges and has remained in custody. A Kentucky State Police trooper is accused of using excessive force and then trying to cover it up. A federal grand jury in London indicted 32-year-old Michael Howell for conspiracy to obstruct a criminal investigation. The Justice Department reports that Howell and another trooper conspired with others to make up a story to explain the use of force. Howell is expected to be in court on July 8th. He could face up to 20 years in prison for each charge. A golden alert was issued by Somerset Police Thursday evening for Kelli J. Whelan. She was last seen outside her home at Summerwoods Nursing and Rehab wearing camouflage clothes. Anyone with information is asked to call the Somerset Police Department at 606-678 or at 678-5176 or Pulaski County 911 Communications Center at 606-678-5008. The family of a missing Scott County, Tennessee woman asking for anyone and everyone's help finding her. Darlene Chitwood went missing Saturday near the Kentucky-Tennessee line. Will Puckett talked with her daughter, who says she's worried her mother is suffering from a diabetic attack.
It's been a nightmare.
Chelsea Dougherty isn't mincing words when it comes to how her family is feeling as they search for her mother.
We've not heard nothing from her. It's been a nightmare. Like, our entire family's been out looking. People that we didn't even know, knew her has been out looking.
Dougherty last spoke to her mom, Darlene Chitwood, Saturday morning. But after that, nothing. until a text message from her aunt that night about her mom's last message to anyone.
And she said, well, she texted me around 6:30 saying, come get me. I broke down. I ran out of gas. I'm on station camp.
Only station camp doesn't exist in Stearns, Kentucky. Now worry is setting in that her mom is sick and in critical need of life-saving medicine.
Her sugars were out of whack, so I'm thinking that she might have had like some, she was a little confused if your sugar's real high or real low, it causes some disturbances.
A series of security cameras showing her mom along a stretch of road just after 6:30 Saturday, but little sign of her since then.
We had no possible idea where she could be from there. So basically the last camera sight was at that furniture store.
From Stearns to Pine Knot to Scott County, anywhere along US 27, this family hoping someone has seen something and will call police.
It may be nothing, but it may be something to us.
Hoping even the smallest tip will lead to their big find. Along the Scott-McCreary County line, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Chitwood was last seen at Big Blue Tires in Stearns wearing a pink tank top with blue capris. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. Anyone with information is asked to call the Scott County Sheriff's Office. With the 4th of July less than 2 weeks away, prices for fireworks are exploding. We talked with some officials about how this could be affecting your favorite Independence Day celebrations. Inflation and supply chain issues are increasing the cost of everything.
It's a struggle on folks. You don't know what we're going to do with things keep going up the way they are.
And as we get closer to Independence Day, those in search of fireworks are also feeling the pinch of skyrocketing prices.
It cost us probably an extra 40% this year versus last year to get the same show that we had for the 4th of July event.
Jeff Dobson is the judge executive in Knott County. They hold not one but 2 fireworks shows.
We wanted to do a much bigger show, but we had to kind of hold to about where we was at last year in order to stay within budget.
James Shoptaw manages the fireworks tent in front of the Walmart in Hazard. He says he can tell a difference this year.
I did this 2 years ago, and this year there's some things that I see that have went up $20 and $30, and then there's also some things that have remained the same. I guess it's just dependent on the product.
Despite the sticker shock on some items, Shoptaw remains optimistic.
I don't really think it'll affect them. I mean, it's the 4th of July. It's one of the greatest holidays in the year, in my opinion. And I think if the way that people like the 4th of July, I think they'll come and they'll still spend some money on some fireworks just to have a good time for the 4th.
Saying there's still plenty of ways.
It's probably one of the better deals. We've got 6-inch canisters
to get more bang for your buck. In Knott County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News. There's going to be a free fireworks show at the Knott County Sportsplex on the 4th. Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says there'll be free food, shops, and games for kids. One Prestonsburg business is reaching out to the community this summer with some sidewalk fun. The Mountain Muse recently installed an activity area outside of its doors, inviting families to stop in the sun to play around in Star City. Owner Heather Owen says the inspiration came from her son and her desire to help brighten up the community.
I had some extra left over from somebody's half birthday party. Decided to put it to some good use instead of letting it hang out in the back. So we made us a little stand out there, and anybody can come play with bubbles, draw on the sidewalk.
Finn making some good business decisions, I can tell. There's more than art popping up on the street. There's also a little agriculture. Heather also recently planted some tasty plants outside her store. The tomato plant, was an idea to grow something a little different for the community to enjoy. A community garden of sorts to add some sustainability to the Star City.
6:40 on this Friday morning. We are looking at some cooler than average temperatures out there right now. 55 in Clintwood, 59 in Jonesville, Manchester back up to 60 in Middlesboro, still 59 in Monticello this morning. See if there's anybody else in the 50s. Ashland's at 59, 69 in Jackson, and at 66 in Moorhead. Those are the 2 warmest spots in our region right now, so we're keeping an eye on those. A lot of low to mid 60s out there right now. Dew points still right there at 60 degrees in a lot of locations. Not too bad out there. Just starting to get the sticky feeling there when you get above 60. So we're keeping an eye on that for you. Those will go up later today. Your breakfast forecast keeps us in the 60s this morning for the most part. And then we head into the 90s a little bit later on with lots of sunshine. Keaton?
Thanks, Brandon, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. A new poll shows that Americans seem to have less confidence in the highest court in the land. We'll have more on that in just a few minutes.